Welcome back to all of you. In this video, we will discuss and learn a small introduction or a brief introduction to Karnataka history. If you see the map of India, Karnataka is located in the southern part of India. Therefore, we can call Karnataka as a southern Indian state. That is a southern Indian state. South Indian state. Karnataka is a South Indian state. This Karnataka state is predominantly occupied or inhabited by Kannada speaking people. The Karnataka has inhabitant people of Kannada speaking. So majority of this land speak Kannada. The Karnataka state has been geographically surrounded by presently the state of Karnataka has been surrounded by Goa, Maharashtra in the north, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh in the east, and Tamil Nadu, Kerala in the south. In the west, we have Arabian Sea. Kaviraja Marga, ancient Kannada work, one of the major source of Karnataka's extent is known in the Kaviraja Marga of Sri Vijaya. So the work is Kaviraja Marga. It has been written by Sri Vijaya. This book, Kaviraja Marga, gives us the detail of extent of Karnataka, ancient Karnataka. So the Karnataka lies between two major rivers, that is Kaveri, that is in the south, and Godavari, that is in the north. So the land between two rivers, one is at the south, that is Kaveri, and the other one which is in the north, that is Godavari. The land between Kaveri in the south and Godavari in the north, the land boundary that extends between the two rivers, mainly Kaveri in the south and Godavari in the north. I am emphasizing because it is a 2 marks question and again a 1 marks question from the point of view of exam. Who wrote Kaviraja Marga? Sri Vijaya, which is the first Kannada work that is also Kaviraja Marga written by Sri Vijaya, which is a book, which is a work which informs us the extent of Karnataka. That is also Kaviraja Marga of Sri Vijaya. So therefore, keeping in mind the various questions that have been asked, so we can understand this point is very important. The next first point, this was the extent of Karnataka in the Kaviraja Marga. But time and again, there is a expansion, contraction in the history of Karnataka. If you see the history of Karnataka or history of India, we can see the boundary, land boundary of Karnataka has been expanded or also contracted. It all depends on the dynasties and the rulers that have ruled this particular land. So the present Karnataka has physical features, various physical features, has various geographical boundaries, has physical features. So the physical features of Karnataka includes the coastal region of Arabian Sea, the coastal region. So if you see on the western side, it has been coastal region, and this coastal region is called as Karavali Tira or Karnara coast or Kannada coast it is. It links between the Konkan coast in the north and Malabar coast in the south. One more thing I want to stress, if it is in the future, a general knowledge question will be asked or maybe comes, is Karnataka is a landlocked state? The answer is no, because the one side of the Karnataka, that is western side, it is linked to Arabian Sea. So after Arabian Sea, the coastal line, we have Western Ghats. The Western Ghats are the Sahyadri mountains. Afterwards, we have Malenadu region. Nearly we have 7 districts, which includes the Malenadu region, that is Uttara Kannada, Udupi, Chikmagaluru, Shivamogga, Dakshina Kannada, Hasan and Kodagu district of Karnataka comes under the Malenadu region. Afterwards, we have southern as well as northern plains of Karnataka. Southern means South India, South Karnataka plain and the North Karnataka plain. So together, there are four parts of physical features. The first one is the coastal line with Arabian Sea. Next one, Western Ghats, the Sahyadri Mountains. Third one, it's a Malenadu region. And the fourth one, southern and northern plains. We can make it as 5 also. Northern plain as well as southern plain. The varieties of these physical features or geographical features made Karnataka history has different and distinct than the others, and it has molded the history of Karnataka. The physical features of Karnataka has molded and shaped the history of Karnataka. So from here we can move to the next one. The next slide will be mainly on the origin and antiquity of the term Karnataka. It's a term called Karnataka, not the land. So some historians have various theories regarding the origin of the term Karnataka. So some historians say, historians have different arguments about the origin of the term Karnataka. Some historians argue or they bring forth their statements and arguments. Karnataka, the name Karnataka is derived from the land and was later coined for the state. Some other historians argue the term Karnataka has been derived from Kula or community or people, those who are. So from people had the name related to Karnataka, and later they got the name and this name was transferred to the state. Like that, there is a number of theories. We will discuss in the later classes about this. But here, some historians say the land had a name, the state got. Some historians say the people or the Kula or the community had, the later state has received this name. But first of all, let me clarify you. The name called Karnataka appears in our literary works for the first time in Mahabharata. So all our writings, if you see the Mahabharata, the first time it appears, Karnataka. So that is in Bhishma Parva and Sabha Parva, if you see, the name of Karnataka appears. Remember, it is in Mahabharata. The word Karnataka also appears in the Sangam literature. Sangam literature or Tamil works, especially Silappadigaram, mentions the people as Karunadar. So, or Karinadu, there is another term called Karinadu. Karinadu means black soil, also interpreted as elevated or highland, or it is called as Karunadu. Karunadu means lofty land. The term Karnataka also found in Velvikundi copper plate inscriptions. Copper plates. Also there is a name called Karnataka. The term called Karnataka appears in the Velvikundi copper plates. So as Karunadagan, this is the people have. Some places it is the place referred. Some places, some inscriptions, some documents gives about the people as Karunadagan. So from there the Karnataka has come, that is the argument. So one more scholar believes that, some more scholars says, the land had a name called Kammitu Nadu. Kammitu Nadu means the land of fragrance, because Karnataka has majority of sandalwood. So therefore it is called as a land of sandalwood. That is Kammiti Nadu. So the land has the name, so Karnataka name term has been evolved. This is the arguments for and against. This is for your knowledge. That will help you in your future learning. So what are the important dynasties that have ruled Karnataka? What are the important dynasties that have ruled Karnataka? So it begins from Kadambas, Gangas, Chalukyas, early Chalukyas, that is Chalukyas of Badami, later Chalukyas of Kalyana, Rashtrakutas, Hoysalas, Vijayanagara, Bahmani Sultans, Mysore Odayars, like that. So many dynasties that have ruled Karnataka, but majority of them or main important ones I have mentioned, nearly 8 of them are there. So these dynasties have shaped the history of Karnataka. You will see them in the coming videos or the chapters, the Karnataka history, how these dynasties have molded and how their rulers have formed or shaped and promulgated or professed the culture and the heritage of Karnataka. They have made also rich contribution in various fields of administration, art, architecture, literature, poetry, prose, science, education, as well as on religion. You can say their contribution is immense. These dynasties have contributed immense to the art and architecture, literature, religion of the present India. Karnataka also has played a prominent role in the modern history, especially in the national movement. It has taken an active part. So you can see Vidrashata is named as a Jallianwala Bagh of South India, which is in Karnataka and near, it is in district of Chikballapur. That's our pride. Anti-British armed rebellions were there in Karnataka. We also have participated in non-cooperation movement and civil disobedience movement and a very strong position in the Salt Satyagraha and Quit India movement. And also we have supported Gandhi in all the movements. So one more pride of every Kannadiga is the language Karnataka has, the Kannada language has been one of the 4 classical languages of India. So one of the main 4 classical languages of India, Karnataka has one language, that is Kannada. Kannada has been recognized as one of the 4 classical languages of India. This is pride of every Kannadiga. So thus the video ends. Take care of your health and keep 1 and 2 marks tracking. Here there is no 5 or 10 marks.